In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. And now, lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever.
Well, if it's riches you're after, there's riches aplenty. That's the truth. You mark my words.
And then there are movies that I'm sure when it comes down to it, Corey and the Powers of Spill would have been happier if we just hadn't gone to go see. So we wouldn't be here doing the review because likely most of you will never ever even get a chance to
I would have been fucking happy not to have seen this movie. This is one of those movies that makes me pissed off sometimes that this is my job and I have to go see a piece of shit like this sometimes.
Whoa, fellas. Now, from what I understand, the critics have been loving this movie.
Fuck critics. You know what? I'm going to say it right here, right now. Fuck critics, fuck Austin critics, and fuck anyone who liked this movie walking out of it. You know, I wanted to punch everyone in the face who actually found something to fucking like. I'm like, you know what? I can go fucking film a fucking turtle take a shit, and you probably won't even see it, but you'll find something that's like worth saying that was good, you know, in there. Because I was fucking baffled. I was baffled by the fact that people walked out of this actually liking it. To where I was like, what in this movie was there to fucking like?
This reminds me of and this is all in my head because I'm watching South Park right now. But there was
I said anything.
There's an episode where like the kids write this book that's totally obscene, and all these adults think it's genius because they see all these subtexts and they're arguing about what it actually means, and they're like, there is no meaning. Mm-hmm. You know, this movie's not obscene except that it got made at all. Mm-hmm. But it's like what people were, didn't you see the deeper? No, I didn't see any deeper meaning. No, it's a bunch of fucking rednecks in the desert in like the 17 who gives a fucks. Yeah. Doing nothing for 2 hours.
It's a Western.
This caters to every shithead that can see a fucking Walmart shopping bag flying around in the wind and say, there's beauty to that.
You know what? And it's 88% positive on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie we're talking about here is called Meek's Cutoff, which is only appropriate because it describes the ending of the film to a T.
Oh, yeah.
Where they go, did you want to have some kind of conclusion? I mean, No Country for Old Men is like decisive by comparison to Meek's Cutoff, which is just like, we ran out of film.
So it's like the film when They Live.
No, it's like the film like at the end said, oh, did you want a story? Sorry, pal.
The tale, such as it is, follows a group of settlers as they're trying to get, presumably, to California. I don't even think they even actually say. They just say they're going west in their covered wagons with a couple celebrities, which is the only reason why I think this played in a theater at all. Like Michelle Williams is in it. Bruce Greenwood is in it. And Will Patton is in it, and there's nothing really much to say about any of them.
No, well, at least with Michelle Williams, where you're like, well, every single damn film I've seen of her, she's been naked and been like fucked violently. Okay. But maybe I'll get something like that out of this film. It is a Western. Who knows? No, not at all.
Well, here they're being led across country by Bruce Greenwood, who plays Meek, who is an old, crotchety, like trapper, adventurer type with this big beard and is completely unrecognizable. Like I had no idea it was Bruce Greenwood until I checked the Wikipedia page. Like, really? That was who that was?
The voice of Batman?
The voice of Batman. Because he's just like, he looks like a guy that you would not give your spare change to.
If Santa Claus like lost all his shit and was out on the street homeless, that's who it would look like.
Yeah.
Santa Claus?
And had been starving for a while.
Yeah.
But here, apparently, they've been lost for a while. And he keeps saying, we're not lost. I know where we are. But nobody believes him. But they don't have much choice because they don't know shit about out here. In the meantime, he's going, you better watch out. There's like Indians around. There's all kinds of shit that could happen. You don't know. I'm the one thing dividing you from just total chaos here. Chop.
Which is at least one angle you figured this movie could have gone in, at least playing with the paranoia of fooling these idiots who are going on this trail with this guy to for them to stop questioning him and just go, look, man, there's things out here that'll kill you in a blink of an eye, and I know how to fight it off, so just shut up and follow me. No.
That's what you think, that we're lost?
I'd say that seems about the right word for it.
We're not lost, we're just finding our way.
I don't blame him for not knowing. I blame him for saying he did.
We made our decision. This is going to be a bad dream soon. It's going to be a story to tell.
They don't even do that. They try for like a split second to have somebody go like just nuts and feel this paranoia, but it doesn't pan out. I mean, it's like, okay, another wasted plot thread that, what did a plot fucking get in here somehow? Fuck that shit.
Get it out of
Write
here.
that shit. Fire that motherfucker. No, it goes back to fucking watching these people on the most boring fucking road trip you will ever be on. And you just don't care.
I think the film is trying to get you in touch with what the pioneers and people from the Old West actually had to go through. I mean, you take it for granted with your highfalutin cars and your smartphones, and you don't know what it was like back in the day.
Leon, shut up.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Hey, look.
Really?
Look.
We don't know. Oh, yeah, we're Americans. We don't know anything about Westerns. What? It's our genre. We know about Westerns.
Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't your typical Western, right? It's a more accurate representation of how things were in the Old West.
Yeah, it wasn't gunfights all the time.
Yeah, they sucked.
Yeah, I know. Nobody gives a shit.
Just people looking at the dirt going, yep, it's more dirt.
Isn't it bad enough that these people had to suffer whenever they went on a road trip that you have to fucking make a film about it and make me suffer watching this shit?
It's to make you appreciate what they went through to put you where you are.
Fuck that noise.
Like one critic for the New Yorker said, this is my favorite line I've heard about this. This is a guy who loves this movie. It's a pleasureless, anti-sensuous aesthetic. And that was him being like nice to us. Like, you know what? I totally agree with that. It is. There is not an ounce of pleasure to be found anywhere in this entire film. It wasn't even filmed well. It's like murky and ugly looking.
Yeah, it's like you get shots of people doing absolutely nothing. It's like you can go, you can go anywhere out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Go to the desert. Drop off your friend right there in the desert. Film him for about 10 minutes wondering, what are we doing? Yeah. And that's it. That's all. That's a majority of the cinematography in this film.
Didn't Casey Affleck already make that movie?
I know, right? You would think. Or at least he has to have at some point, right? That sounds like a Casey Affleck project. Yeah. Or anyone, with that, from that group.
I mean, I kid you not, dude. Nothing fucking goes on in this movie. You see this covered wagon fucking just limp along throughout the entirety of the film, where they stop. The most exciting, thrilling thing about this movie is whenever they have to stop to change a fucking wheel.
Yeah.
That's about the only time anything really happens.
There's a sequence where they're lowering these like wagons down a slight incline, right? They're lowering it down with a rope. Mm-hmm. And it's not like this huge mountain or anything. It's an incline. They just got to be careful the wheel doesn't break. And it goes on for like 10 minutes. And there's nothing, man. You might as well just watch people load shit onto trucks at Home Depot. Yeah. It's like there's, you know what? Like the most that this plot tries to be a plot is at one point they find this Indian that's been following them, right? And then that's pretty much it. They tie him up and they lead him around with them, and he doesn't speak English and they don't speak whatever Indian tribe he's from's language. And
they treat him like shit.
They treat him like shit. Yeah. And Michelle Williams and her husband are kind of like, no, we should try and be a little nicer to him. And they're like, whatever. And that's about it. There's no like real big discussion about it. No. It's just like, so that's supposed to be a treatise on racism or something? It was like, oh wow, Americans treated Indians like shit. This is a revelation.
Yeah.
So basically, Michael Bay could come in here right now and say, y'all miss me now, don't you?
Dude, I mean, honestly, I told somebody when we got out of there, I was like, you know what? I was waiting for a fucking robot to fall out of the sky or something. Anything besides fucking looking at the wind blowing and seeing this covered fucking wagon just go nowhere.
Dude, somebody breastfeeding their child would have been thrilling compared to what we had seen at this point. Seriously. It would have been like, that would have been the highlight, the best thing that happened in the whole film.
It was depressing. Well, I've never seen a film in my entire career that made me want to give up my entire career.
It was so well named. It was very, very Meek, and it totally just cut off.
Yeah,
it
was the biggest fuck you a director could ever give to an audience. Yeah, really.
One reviewer said some audiences will ask themselves, was it just a cop out or was it hauntingly ambiguous? Like, no, it was a fucking cop out. To be fair, it's not really a cop out if you didn't have a story to begin with.
Yeah.
Because who gives a shit what happens to these people?
It sounds like the cutoff is like what you'll be doing to your arm to get out of the theater.
Seriously.
But I gotta say, I like the poster. How about that?
Wow, okay, I'm glad you brought that up because you talk about misleading people. Because I'm like, okay, wow, we've had like a few films with badass chicks holding guns, doing all kinds of crazy shit. shit, you know, riding around on big robots and fucking, you know, assassinating people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, maybe I'll get some kind of action.
Yeah.
No,
It looks like the Western version of Sucker Punch.
No,
No.
she's holding her gun on the poster. Michelle Williams pointing her gun, looking all tough. And in the sequence where it happens, there's nothing there.
Nothing
She's
there.
looking because
Yeah.
she thought she saw something.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
because you know what? They couldn't have put a fucking covered wagon on that goddamn poster with a broken wheel because who'd want to go see that film? You know, no.
Except that would be more accurate.
Yeah, this film should have been called "Are We There Yet?" I mean, with the fucking broken wagon and just
It's
people
Are We
just
Yet?
people just looking around like fucking spaceless. You know, just like what's going
This
on.
movie would have been improved by Ice Cube.
yeah,
It's true. As sad as I never thought I would say that, but it would definitely have been improved by Ice
Shit,
Cube.
I was waiting for Samuel Jackson to put in his narration. I was like, I'm sure he can make a story out of this. You know?
Now, this is the fourth effort from a director called Kelly Reichardt, who I discovered in 2008. I don't like then when they did a film called Wendy and Lucy that we got sent with our little band of Oscar screeners, which are usually at least watchable. You know,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, it's worth a watch. At worst, Wendy and Lucy was not watchable. It was Michelle Williams and her dog, and that was it. That was the whole movie. Is Michelle Williams and her dog wandering around.
Did she get naked at least?
No.
God damn it.
Well, maybe
You know
she
what?
did. I don't even
You couldn't
remember
finish
anymore. I know I finished it. I'm pretty good about that. I rarely. It has to be pretty bad. You know, it has to be like on like worse.
It's got to
than,
be like Meek's Cutoff.
It's got to be worse than Dino Shark.
We need to fuck this director and fuck all the critics that are constantly jerking off on her face,
what
man.
the fuck is this, man?
I know.
They loved that movie and they love this movie. 88%? Are you kidding? What movie
Wow.
did you go see?
Wow.
I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mind a really slow atmospheric film if it's really good, if there's like beautiful cinematography or there is interesting subtext or there are amazing performances. I mean, like one of the negative reviews I read, and this is exactly what I said when it came out, said, you know what? Fuck this movie. Just go see the Jim Jarmusch film with Johnny Depp in.
Oh, yeah.
Dead Man.
Oh, Dead Man,
which
which is
achieves what this film is trying to do as far as the quiet, atmospheric, really thoughtful Western, except it actually achieves it.
that
It's
film
actually
is
really
a fucking
great
Godfather compared to this. Yeah. I
movie.
mean,
So I'm going to go right here and say, and you know what? I know that we've been a little bit back and forth on levels of extreme lately, but this movie pissed me off. I mean, it made me angry. It made me even angrier hearing people try to imagine shit that it was saying and doing that it so totally wasn't. It is a fuck you, and you're right, co-host. Fuck you to everybody else out there who was like, I loved it. It was great. It's great. I loved it. I would put it in my butt and wear it around so I can let it feed into my system like a suppository.
yeah, I know.
Fuck
shit.
this movie.
If only I had the cast with me from Predator to where we can reenact the scene where we all have fucking all kinds of weapons from miniguns to fucking grenade launchers to everything and put every motherfucker who loved these films right in a fucking firing range of and just tell them fuck you, just blow them to kingdom fucking come. Even the Predator would be there helping us. I mean, wow, yeah, this movie is the biggest. Go fuck yourself in your fucking creative asshole and leave me and fucking people who actually have to spend money on this shit the fuck alone.
The problem
Yeah,
is they don't
fuck
have
them.
a creative asshole.
They
They don't have a creative organ or orifice in their body. I don't think.
They're quote unquote creative because I'm sure sitting in a room with these jackasses and especially with that director, I can only imagine. I would love to hear the commentary on a film like this just to know like what is going on in their head? Like, what makes them feel like this is a story worth telling,
Yeah.
To see these fucking actors dress up and play make-believe and go, oh, look at what we used to do in the olden days. Look at this fucking thing I found at the garage sale, and I'm going to show you how they used to use it.
It's
I don't
gay
give a
cowboys
fuck.
eating pudding.
I don't care.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It totally
You know
is.
what?
It's what Trey Barker and Matt Stone were talking about way back when with like when they get irritated by art films that absolutely have nothing to say. This is one of those.
Yeah, but they made that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger. It was pretty
They
good.
did not eat pudding.
Well, they ate something.
It was good.
They had two gay horses on this fucking trip. I would have been more interested in that.
Yeah, if the Cowboys had been fucking each other, that would have added a plus to the film.
Anybody fucking each other. Shit. Could have had two rocks fucking each other. I would have been interested. But no, I can't get that.
Okay, you guys have said fuck 47 times. so
Fuck
far.
you.
We should have a little meter. Ding, 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 ding.
I'm sorry. This
It was blown up.
I'm sorry, but this is one of those films that makes you do that. Yeah, it really. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, it has some value then.
Fuck.
He's a quick one. He knows where the water is.
I've seen him strip the flesh clean off a man while he's still breathing. You people got no idea what you are dealing with here.